Hey all, it's Kayce Cover, and I am actually really excited to talk to you today because I think we're doing something revolutionary. Well, we already have, but this is like scaling it. So let me explain. I train exotic animals and all animals really, trained over 120 kinds of animals and professional trainers. And there's a problem. Well, there's a lot of problems with animals, but with exotic animals, if they get really stressed or upset, they can die on the spot. And then also, with pet animals, if animals have difficult behavior, they can lose their homes, they can injure people, they can lose their lives, they can ruin the lives of their owners. And we're now facing the fact that many vets are telling me that cancer is the leading cause of death for our pets. So we've got illness problems. When I first started working with exotic animals, I went right to work to solve this problem. Of course, you can't solve it in every single case, but we made incredible inroads. And it's not a sexy title, but we call the protocol perception modification because we teach the animals how to change the way they look at problems, things that for them are problems, right? And it's a complex subject. You can tell that by the name, right? I haven't been able to think of a better, sexier name. So bear with me. And better yet, leave it in the comments if you get a better name for me. In any case, the class takes 20 weeks. We've got a bunch of talented trainers that have gone through this and gone through the certification. We have something like 400 trainers worldwide that are certified in this technique. But some of our talented trainers, our professionals, have been coming back and saying, can we make this easier for pet owners? And I kind of turned the question back on them. What should we drop out? What isn't important in the things that we study? But it's all a matter of degree, right? So to really master something, like you don't want a surgeon taking any shortcuts, but the daycare provider, the nurse, I'm talking about the general nurse, the mom, these people, if they have just a little bit of the information, it could make a huge difference. So we teach moms to give, CPR and how to do first aid and so on, never intending for them to do surgery on their kids, right? Similarly, it might be possible to come up with an easier program for pet owners than we have for the professional trainers. But the problem is we have to develop it. We have to figure it out. So I'm a collaborator. I love to work with other trainers. So I said to Sylwia Matulewska, who's a very talented trainer in Poland, and who asked me, could we do this? Could we make this easier for owners? And I put together a webinar that I call Puppy Prep. And it's 3 tools that don't take any training skill, they just take mindfulness. And we're trying to teach this as much as possible in like an hour and a half. And we've done it 3 times so far. And the next one's going to be March 14th, which is a Saturday. Here's what's so exciting. We're making progress. We're seeing in the attendees that they're actually getting the ideas, I think they're going to be able to apply these ideas and make a difference. So, what kind of difference can you make? Well, I mentioned the problems that we try to avoid: death, losing a home, losing their lives, death in the immediate sense because they get upset, but also death because there's problems that with the behavior and so on that result in the animal getting euthanized. But on the other side of the issue, we professional trainers are finding our relationships with our animals have just developed to an incredible degree. And we're finding that we actually do less training. Why? Because we often used obedience to counteract problem behaviors. So think about this. Instead of letting the dog just be a dog and sit down when he wants to sit and walk when he wants to walk, we don't want the dog whining. We don't want the dog jumping up on things. We don't want the dog getting into the trash. So we might say, okay, come here, sit down, stay right here. Don't leave, da 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 da. We start micromanaging the dog or any animal. But if we teach them how they need to, manage themselves to live successfully in this human environment, and they can successfully do that, we don't really need to micromanage them. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to do a lot of training. We love training, but it's a lot of fun to go do training like obedience or freestyle to music or agility or dog sports, versus you sit there and you stay till I tell you you can go. And here's another really, really amazing thing. And that is that I am finding that the animals are often enjoying longer than expected lives. And started right back at the beginning. Both my gray seals broke longevity records. My sea lions had longer than expected lives. My monkey had a very long life. My conure had a long life. My German Shepherd died just short of his 16th birthday. My horse is almost 35 years old. Only 7 horses in 1,000 make it to 30 years. One of our other trainers lost her horse at 35 years. This is a big horse even, and they don't tend to live as long. Oh my gosh. 2 of us, there's less than 1,000 of us, and 2 of us have 7 in 1,000 horses. What am I talking about? If only 7 make it to 30 years, how many do you think make it to 35 years? Hallelujah. We are so thrilled because what do we want? We want a long, happy life together with our beloved friends, which are the animals that we love and work with. So we're getting this relationship, we're getting these easy lives. We get to focus on things we love instead of problems. And our animals are enjoying long, good health. Man, you can't get much better than that. But the challenge was still, can we make this available? So this puppy prep thing, it's 90 minutes long. We've done it 3 times. It's still a work in progress. But we are seeing people actually, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like if you cook eggs or fudge or custards, there's a lot of things you make where you just have to know the process, but you see it coming together. Like if you make traditional fudge, you have to know what it's supposed to look like. It's not very helpful to just go by the temperatures that they give you in the recipe. It's more complex than that. And so that's all I can tell you about what I'm seeing. I'm seeing things come together for people, but we're still working on it. Can we arm pet owners to make huge differences in their lives with their pets, to make their lives easier with their pets? Because you know what? Frankly, I would love to send all these people to SATS trainers, but there aren't enough of us. There are just not enough. And everybody should have access to this help. Everybody. So, what the heck? It's the age of the internet. You can look up your medical information. We're trying to make it so you can look up this information also, and that you can gain access to it in an easier way. So, this is just an ongoing process, but I want you to know I'm trying. I'm working on making it more accessible to you. If you want more information, just go to Synalia.com and sign up for news and notifications. It's right under the picture of Maureen. Maureen was my sea lion that had the serious jaw fracture and from getting caught in a fishing net. And when she arrived at the National Zoo, I was really worried because she got uh, picked on by all the other animals, and she was so little. And she was kind of high strung, you might say. Anyway, I was worried about her. So I took her and the male Norman on as my particular animals. I'm going to tell you, within 3 days, Maureen's life had changed forever. She went from the bottom of the totem pole to the second female, the second wife, essentially. And I talk more about that in other places, so check it out if you're interested. But um, the sea lions are like people, they don't just fall in love with every other sea lion. And I kind of got the impression that they did from my early training. No, it's not like that. There's a lot of choice involved. Anyway, Maureen became the second from the top female in 3 days. And she never lost that. And Maureen went on to live for 30 years. 30 years. Yes. Okay, folks, please keep tuned. And you know, I love those comments. I am so grateful for people commenting on the last video. Oh, and guess what? I don't know if you can see. My head is almost healed. Can you see anything? Right. Well, good if you can't. Whew. And no traumatic brain injury. It's a good week. Take care, everybody. Thank you.